Welcome to Hanoi, the thousand-year-old cultural capital, a city where the ancient meets the modern in perfect harmony. Cherry Blossom, get ready for a 3-day journey filled with unforgettable experiences as we explore the unique charm of this land. From the bustling Old Quarter to the peaceful historical sites, Hanoi promises to leave you with memories that will last a lifetime. Don't forget to hit the follow button to receive more travel tips and exciting adventures in the future. Now, get ready to stroll through the old streets and create beautiful memories in this city. Hanoi is a city rich in cultural identity with a long history, renowned for its landmarks like Hoan Kiem Lake, the Temple of Literature, and the Ho Chi Minh Mausoleum. Visiting Hanoi, you'll feel a serene atmosphere, distinct from the bustling pace of other cities, while also embracing the lively buzz of the Old Quarter's 36 streets each evening. Small streets shaded by green trees, sidewalk stalls, street vendors' calls, and the aroma of traditional dishes make for a uniquely Hanoi experience. Hanoi is also a place that preserves the long-standing cultural values of the Vietnamese people. Here, you can visit traditional craft villages such as Van Phuc Silk Village, Bat Trang Pottery Village, and the Old Quarter with its narrow alleys showcasing French architectural styles. This city is a convergence of diverse cultures, from Chinese and French influences to distinctly Vietnamese elements, making Hanoi rich in both historical relics and cultural variety. The best time to visit Hanoi is in the fall, September to November. During this season, Hanoi becomes more romantic than ever, with cool weather, soft sunlight, and especially streets filled with the scent of milk flowers. The ideal temperatures range from 20 degrees Celsius to 28 degrees Celsius, making it perfect for exploring the city. Autumn is also the season of festivals and cultural events like the Mid-Autumn Festival and the Village Calm Festival. Come and experience the poetic beauty of Hanoi, leaving a deep impression in the hearts of every visitor. Day 1, Ho Chi Minh Mausoleum and Ba Dinh Square, One Pillar Pagoda, Temple of Literature, Hanoi Old Quarter. On the first day of our journey, we'll visit the Ho Chi Minh Mausoleum, one of the sacred symbols of the Vietnamese nation. Located in the heart of Hanoi, the mausoleum is not only the resting place of the great leader but also a revered destination where the Vietnamese people pay their respects to the man who led the country through difficult times. The Ho Chi Minh Mausoleum was inaugurated in 1975, designed in a modern architectural style combined with traditional Vietnamese elements. When you enter the grounds, you'll be welcomed by a vast open space, with lush green trees and carefully maintained lawns. The rectangular structure with gray concrete blocks stands prominently, giving a sense of solemnity and strength. As you approach, the mausoleum's impressive facade and sturdy columns present a simple yet dignified beauty. Inside, President Ho Chi Minh's body lies in a glass coffin, meticulously preserved. The gentle lighting and quiet atmosphere create a sacred ambience, making one feel the strong presence of a leader who devoted his life to the country. Don't forget to visit Ba Dinh Square, where many significant historical events of Vietnam have taken place. Just a short walk from the mausoleum, you'll find yourself standing in the vast square, with the majestic statue of President Ho Chi Minh at its center. The square is surrounded by green trees and historic buildings, such as Ho Chi Minh's Stilt House and the Ho Chi Minh Museum. Standing in Ba Dinh Square, you'll feel the grandeur and solemnity of this place. This was where Ho Chi Minh read the Declaration of Independence on September 2, 1945, marking the birth of the Democratic Republic of Vietnam. The scene comes alive on major national holidays, as millions of people gather here to remember and honor the past. When leaving the mausoleum and Ba Dinh Square, take a moment to reflect on the life and legacy of President Ho Chi Minh. You'll feel the patriotism and unity of the Vietnamese people, as well as the profound impact he left for future generations. The Ho Chi Minh Mausoleum and Ba Dinh Square are not only iconic landmarks in Hanoi but also cultural and historical symbols of the country. Every corner here tells the story of a turbulent era, and each step you take will be filled with meaning, deepening your understanding of Vietnamese culture and spirit. Next, we'll visit the One Pillar Pagoda, one of the unique cultural and historical symbols of Hanoi, Vietnam. Located in the heart of Linh Chiu Lake, this pagoda is not only an architectural marvel but also a symbol of the Vietnamese people's deep faith and reverence for Buddhism. The One Pillar Pagoda was built in 1049 during the reign of King Lai Tai Tong, featuring a unique square structure supported by a single wooden pillar, creating a harmonious and elegant beauty. The inspiration for its design is based on the image of a lotus flower floating on water, representing purity and spirituality in Eastern culture. As you step through the pagoda's gate, you will immediately feel the tranquility and reverence, contrasting sharply with the city's surrounding hustle and bustle. As you approach, the pagoda stands with its curved, delicately decorated roof, showcasing the skill and artistry of traditional craftsmen. Its colors blend with the green of the trees and the lake's waters, creating a beautiful and peaceful setting. From the platform, you'll have a perfect view of Lin Chiu Lake with its blooming lotus flowers, painting a lively natural picture. Inside the pagoda, you will be awed by the sacred atmosphere of the worship space. The Buddha statue is solemnly placed, surrounded by paintings and intricate carvings that showcase traditional art. The fragrant incense smoke fills the air, and the gentle glow of lanterns creates an ambience both sacred and welcoming. Many come here to pray and offer their wishes, entrusting their hopes and thoughts to this hallowed space. The One Pillar Pagoda is not only famous for its unique architecture but also holds many fascinating historical stories. It has been the site of numerous important religious ceremonies and attracts both local and international visitors. Each year, especially during festivals, the pagoda draws thousands of people who come to visit and pay homage, creating a lively, joyful atmosphere. After your visit, take a moment to admire the surroundings. With its picturesque location in the middle of Lin Chiu Lake, you can relax, breathe in the fresh air, and reflect on life. The scene becomes even more enchanting at sunset, as the soft golden light reflects on the water, creating a shimmering, mystical palette. The One Pillar Pagoda is a must-visit when in Hanoi. Not only is it an architectural gem, but it also embodies the history, culture, and spirituality of the Vietnamese people. Spending time here, you will not only marvel at the pagoda's beauty but also find a sense of inner peace, reflecting on the enduring spiritual values that have been part of this nation's heritage for thousands of years. In the afternoon, we will visit the Temple of Literature, one of Hanoi's most remarkable cultural and historical sites in Vietnam. Located in the heart of the city, the Temple of Literature not only serves as a place of worship for Confucius but also stands as a symbol of intellect and the long-standing educational tradition of the Vietnamese people. Built in 1070 during the reign of King Lai Ton Tong to honor Confucian values, the Temple of Literature also houses the Imperial Academy, established in 1076 as Vietnam's first university. This institution trained talented individuals for the country, and with its traditional architecture rich in Eastern cultural elements, the Temple of Literature is not only an exquisite architectural structure but also a repository of the nation's spiritual and intellectual heritage. As you enter through the main gate, the peaceful and tranquil atmosphere immediately transports you to an ancient historical period. Beneath the shade of ancient trees, you'll see carefully tended gardens, old stone walls, and solemn shrines. Cultural symbols like rock gardens, river stones, and stone-paved paths create a harmonious and serene space, offering a sense of calm to all visitors. The highlight of the Temple of Literature is the stele of doctors, inscribed with the names of scholars who excelled in the royal exams. These stelae are placed on the backs of turtles, symbolizing wisdom and longevity. Standing before these, you can feel a profound sense of pride in the nation's scholars, who contributed to the country's growth and prosperity over the centuries. Upon entering the shrines, the atmosphere becomes even more sacred and reverent. Statues of Confucius and the revered sages are honored here, accompanied by paintings and couplets expressing the noble life philosophies of the Vietnamese people. The fragrance of incense and the gentle glow of lights create a solemn yet welcoming ambience, a place where visitors can reflect on knowledge and morality. After the tour, take a moment to enjoy the peaceful atmosphere at nearby tea houses. Situated near the city center, you can gaze at the bright red rooftops and shaded ancient trees, offering an ideal relaxing space amid the bustling capital. The Temple of Literature is not just a fascinating travel destination but also a place that honors intellect and cultural values of Vietnam. Spending time here, you'll not only admire the architectural beauty but also find inner peace, reflecting on the moral and intellectual values that have shaped the nation's cultural identity for thousands of years. To conclude the first day, we'll stroll through Hanoi's Old Quarter, an unmissable destination when you set foot in Vietnam's thousand-year-old capital. Located in the city center, the Old Quarter not only preserves traditional cultural values but also offers a lively snapshot of the daily lives of Hanoi's people. The Old Quarter dates back to the 11th century, during the Lytran dynasties, with narrow streets and buildings that reflect a rich historical architecture. Here, you'll find rows of close-set tube houses with enyang tiled roofs and distinctive wooden doors painted in iconic colors. Streets such as Hang Gai, Hang Dao, and Hang Bak have become symbols of commerce and culture, closely intertwined with the lives of local people for centuries. As you wander along the cobblestone streets, the vibrant and bustling atmosphere quickly draws you into the flow of life here. The calls of street vendors, the aroma of pho, bun cha, and traditional snacks are simply irresistible. Quaint cafes with wooden stools and stone tables, where locals gather to chat, create a familiar and intimate setting. The unique charm of the Old Quarter lies in its blend of traditional and modern culture. You'll easily spot handicraft shops selling traditional items like ceramics, silk, and folk paintings next to trendy fashion boutiques, bars, and modern cafes. This diversity is part of the Old Quarter's allure, where you can experience both historical heritage and contemporary vibrancy. The Old Quarter is also known for its year-round traditional festivals, from Lunar New Year to spring festivals. With an array of cultural activities like water puppet shows, traditional musical performances, and street food stalls, you'll gain a deeper understanding of Vietnamese cultural identity. As twilight falls, lights from the shops and cafes begin to glimmer, creating a magical, sparkling scene. From the small street corners, you can admire Hoan Kiem Lake illuminated in the distance, lending a romantic and serene backdrop. Hanoi's Old Quarter is not only a popular tourist attraction but also a repository of the nation's cultural and historical values. Taking the time to explore it, you'll not only appreciate the architectural beauty but also experience the heartbeat and spirit of the city, along with the captivating stories of its past that contribute to Hanoi's enduring charm today. Day 2, Vietnam Museum of Ethnology, Hanoi Opera House and French Quarter, St. Joseph's Cathedral, Hoan Kiem Lake and Ngoc Sun Temple. On the second day of our Hanoi journey, we'll visit the Vietnam Museum of Ethnology, a cultural site of rich historical significance. Located on Nguyen Van Huynh Street in Ca Gia District, this museum not only preserves and showcases precious artifacts on ethnic history but is also a captivating destination where visitors can explore the richness and diversity of Vietnamese culture. The Vietnam Museum of Ethnology, established in 1997, quickly became one of Vietnam's most prominent cultural landmarks. Featuring modern architecture that harmonizes with nature, the museum includes two main sections, the indoor and outdoor exhibition areas. From the entrance, open spaces, green trees, and outdoor exhibits create a serene and welcoming atmosphere that truly reflects Vietnamese identity. Inside, the museum's exhibits showcase a vast collection of cultural artifacts and heritage items representing Vietnam's 54 ethnic groups. Traditional clothing, household items, folk musical instruments, and agricultural tools each hold unique cultural stories. Photos and illustrations depicting daily life, customs, and beliefs are thoughtfully arranged to provide a deeper understanding of each ethnic group's distinct characteristics and regional culture. One unmissable highlight is the outdoor exhibit area, where traditional house structures of various ethnic groups are recreated, such as the stilt houses of the Tay, the long houses of the Eid, and the communal rong houses of the Ba Na. Carefully constructed and true to their original form, each house vividly showcases the unique lifestyle and traditions of different ethnic communities, creating a living environment that feels as though you've traveled back to peaceful, serene rural villages of the past. The Vietnam Museum of Ethnology also hosts cultural exchange activities and traditional folk performances during festivals. Water puppetry, folk performances, and authentic traditional ceremonies bring local culture closer to visitors. The sounds of the monochord, zither, and traditional folk songs will make you appreciate the heart and soul of Vietnamese life. After exploring the museum, take some time to relax in the lush, green grounds or stroll around the outdoor exhibits. Here, you can enjoy the fresh, tranquil air, stepping away from the city's hustle and bustle to contemplate the depth of Vietnamese culture. The Vietnam Museum of Ethnology is an ideal destination not only to learn about the past but also to feel the beauty and depth of Vietnam's cultural identity. Each detail, from artifacts to architecture and natural surroundings, tells a profound story of the people, history, and culture of this land, making for a meaningful and memorable visit. Next, we'll visit the Hanoi Opera House in the French Quarter, one of the most iconic landmarks in the Vietnamese capital. Situated in the heart of the city, the Hanoi Opera House is not only an architectural masterpiece of French design but also a vivid testament to the history and cultural exchange between Vietnam and France. The Hanoi Opera House was built in the early 20th century when Hanoi was the center of colonial Indochina. Inspired by the Opera Garnier in Paris, it stands out like a gem of architecture amid the Old Quarter. With its arched roofs, tall glass windows, and intricate carvings, this building epitomizes French neoclassical style. Through the years, the Opera House has retained its grandeur and elegance, drawing both locals and international visitors. As you cross the grand square in front of the Opera House, you'll begin to feel the magnificence and elegance of this structure. Tall stone pillars, intricately carved doors, and classic architectural lines combine to create a space that is both romantic and dignified. Inside, the grand stage seats over 500 and is illuminated by dazzling crystal chandeliers. Rows of red velvet seats and the high ceiling adorned with classic floral motifs transport viewers into another world, a world where art and music blend in harmony. The Hanoi Opera House has also witnessed many significant historical events. In 1945, it was the site of a rally celebrating the August Revolution, marking a monumental event in the country's history. Today, it serves as the center of cultural activities, hosting everything from symphonies and operas to unique cultural programs, offering visitors and Hanoi residents a refined space for enjoying art steeped in history. Walking around the French Quarter near the Opera House, you'll sense the elegant and nostalgic beauty of Old Hanoi. This area is notable for its classic French villas, cobblestone streets, and rows of shady trees. French architecture mixed with modern buildings creates a unique blend of past and present. Each street, such as Trang Tien, Lai Tai Tu, or Phan Chu Trinh, holds its own charm, from cozy cafes and old bookshops to high-end fashion boutiques. As evening falls, the Hanoi Opera House and French Quarter light up with a warm golden glow, creating an unforgettable atmosphere of classic romance. The lampposts cast long shadows on the tiled sidewalks, while the soft rustling of leaves in the evening breeze adds a peaceful, reflective note. This is the perfect time to enjoy a coffee on Trang Tien Street, watch people pass by, and savor the leisurely, refined pace of life in the French Quarter. The Hanoi Opera House and French Quarter are not only places where European architectural beauty is recreated but also spaces that preserve memories of an earlier era in Hanoi. Taking time to explore them, you'll not only admire the architectural beauty but also immerse yourself in a historic atmosphere, listening to stories of an old Hanoi, graceful and elegant, flowing timelessly with the years. In the afternoon, we will visit St. Joseph's Cathedral, one of the most distinguished and ancient religious buildings in Hanoi. Located in the heart of the city near Hoan Kiem Lake, the cathedral is not only a symbol of Catholic faith but also a vivid witness to the historical events and rich cultural imprints of Hanoi throughout the ages. Hanoi's St. Joseph's Cathedral, often referred to as the Big Church, was built in the late 19th century during the French colonial period, when Western architecture and culture gradually began to influence Vietnam. With its typical Gothic architecture, the cathedral resembles Notre Dame in Paris, France, with towering gray stone walls, intricately painted stained glass windows, and two tall bell towers that rise prominently against Hanoi's sky. Through the years, the cathedral has preserved its solemn beauty, providing a serene place where Hanoians come to pray and find peace amid the bustling city life. Walking through the narrow, old brick-paved streets of the Old Quarter, St. Joseph's Cathedral appears like a living painting, with a beauty that is both classic and sacred. The cathedral's facade captivates with its pointed arches, finely carved stone details, and solid rows of pillars, creating a majestic yet tranquil scene. Inside, the spacious interior is bathed in soft light streaming through stained glass windows, filling everything with a sense of peace and sanctity. At the main altar, golden-hued holy paintings depict the life of Jesus and the saints, inviting visitors to reflect, find peace, and connect with their inner selves. The cathedral is also the site of many important ceremonies and comes to life with vibrancy at Christmas when both the church and surrounding area are illuminated by festive lights and the sounds of carols. On Christmas Eve, as crowds gather around the cathedral, you can immerse yourself in the joyful, serene atmosphere of a meaningful holiday season, a warm feeling unlike anywhere else. After visiting the church interior, take a moment to enjoy the scenery around the Old Quarter. With charming cafes, souvenir shops, and delightful eateries along streets like Nha Trang and Lai Kwok Su, you'll have the chance to experience a traditional Hanoi infused with the romantic charm of Europe, poetic and timeless. Just a short walk from the cathedral is Hoan Kiem Lake, an iconic symbol of the capital. In the evening, the lights from the cathedral and nearby shops create a sparkling and nostalgic urban scene. St. Joseph's Cathedral in Hanoi is not only a spiritual destination but also a place where the marks of time, culture, and history of the capital are preserved. Every detail, from the architecture to the peaceful interior, tells a meaningful story, giving visitors a profound sense of Hanoi, a city that is ancient yet warm, elegant, and charming in its own unique way. To conclude our second day, we'll visit Hoan Kiem Lake and Ngoc Sun Temple, followed by an exploration of the Hoan Kiem Pedestrian Street, a special and historically significant spot in the heart of Hanoi. Hoan Kiem Lake, known as the spiritual and cultural symbol of the city, is rich in legendary tales that transport us back to a heroic era of Vietnam. According to legend, Hoan Kiem Lake, or the Lake of the Returned Sword, is where King Loloi returned the sacred sword to the Golden Turtle after driving out the Ming invaders in the 15th century. The lake has long been a symbol not only for Hanoi but also for the spirit of the nation. At its center stands the Turtle Tower, solemnly rising from the clear blue waters, reflecting the sky and surrounding scenery, creating a scene that is both majestic and poetic. Early in the morning, as mist covers the lake, the view becomes even more mystical and tranquil, inviting visitors to immerse themselves in a serene and sacred atmosphere. Crossing the iconic Red the Huck Bridge, a delicate ribbon connecting the lake's shore to Ngoc Sun Temple on Jade Island, you enter a space of deep cultural and spiritual significance. The Huck Bridge, meaning to retain the morning sunlight, leads to Ngoc Sun Temple, a centuries-old sanctuary dedicated to national hero Tran Hung Dao and Van Suong, the god of literature and examinations. Upon entering the temple, you feel a sense of reverence and peace, surrounded by fragrant incense smoke, dignified statues, and calligraphic banners that reflect Vietnam's unique cultural identity. Inside the temple, a preserved giant turtle, a former resident of the lake, holds sacred significance, evoking respect and admiration from every visitor. After visiting the temple, you'll have the chance to experience Hoan Kiem Pedestrian Street, where the roads around the lake transform into a lively space for locals and tourists every weekend. Hoan Kiem Pedestrian Street is where you'll encounter street artists performing music, singing, and traditional dances, or young people engaging in folk games such as O and Quan, bamboo dancing, and tug-of-war. Each corner is filled with vibrant colors and sounds, creating an atmosphere that is both joyful and energetic. The street-side cafes and eateries along the lake are ideal stops to savor Hanoi's signature dishes, sip a cup of coffee, and enjoy the picturesque view of the lake lit up in sparkling lights. In the evening, as streetlights glow, Turtle Tower and the Huck Bridge shine brightly over the water, crafting an unforgettable magical scene. Taking in the full view from the pedestrian street, you see Hanoi as both ancient and modern, with cobblestone streets, tree-lined avenues, and people strolling joyfully. Hoan Kiem Lake, Ngoc Sun Temple, and the pedestrian street are not only places to appreciate natural beauty and architecture but also areas where you can feel the blend of Hanoi's tradition and modernity. Every detail here, from the bridge and temple to the tower and pedestrian street, tells stories that immerse you in the vibrant yet contemplative rhythm of this city with a thousand-year legacy. Day 3, Bat Trang Pottery Village, Thang Long Imperial Citadel. On the third day of our journey exploring Hanoi, we will visit Bat Trang Pottery Village, a famous traditional craft village located on the banks of the Red River, about 13 kilometers from the city center. Known as the cradle of Vietnamese ceramic art, Bat Trang Village boasts over 700 years of history, making it an essential destination for those who love to explore traditional culture and exquisite craftsmanship. Bat Trang Pottery Village began to take shape in the 14th century when artisans from Thanh Hoa migrated here to establish the village. Over the centuries, through many ups and downs, the village has maintained its status and continually developed, preserving unique crafting techniques and methods passed down from generation to generation. The products from Bat Trang are not only diverse in shapes and designs but also reflect the artisan's skills through intricate decorative patterns and the rustic glaze that characterizes the village's pottery. As you stroll through the winding alleys of the village, you'll gradually see artisans diligently working at their pottery wheels. The shops display countless pottery items, from vases and jars to colorful decorative pieces, each imbued with the essence of tradition and the unique beauty of Bat Trang. Particularly, you won't be able to take your eyes off the blue-glazed pottery, featuring traditional patterns that are both rustic and elegant, strongly marking the cultural identity of northern Vietnam. One of the highlights of visiting Bat Trang Pottery Village is the opportunity to try your hand at pottery making, experiencing what it feels like to be a real craftsman. The pottery kilns welcome visitors, providing wheels, clay, and thorough guidance from skilled artisans. You can shape cups, plates, or small decorative items, feeling the joy as your fingers touch the soft clay. After shaping your creations, you can also paint them yourself, resulting in a unique gift that carries your personal touch. As you walk through the village, you'll hear the cheerful laughter of friendly locals intertwined with the rhythmic sounds of the pottery wheels, a peaceful yet lively atmosphere of a traditional craft village that continues to thrive in the modern age. If you visit during the village's festival, you'll have the chance to immerse yourself in the vibrant atmosphere, admiring unique pottery works and participating in interesting folk activities. At the end of the tour, take some time to sit at a small cafe by the village, savoring a cup of hot tea in rustic ceramic cups while enjoying the simple yet beloved scenery. Bat Trang Pottery Village is not only a place that preserves traditional pottery art but also a space where each visitor can feel the tranquility of a Vietnamese countryside, where people, nature, and art harmoniously blend together. In the afternoon, our journey will conclude at Thang Long Imperial Citadel, one of the most prominent historical and cultural relics in Vietnam, located in the capital city of Hanoi. The Citadel is not only a witness to 1,000 years of civilization in ancient Thang Long but also a brilliant symbol of the nation's strength and intelligence, marking the numerous ups and downs and significant events in the country's history. Thang Long Imperial Citadel was constructed in the 11th century during the Lai dynasty and expanded in subsequent dynasties. This site served as the political and cultural center for feudal dynasties for over a millennium. With its distinctly East Asian architectural style, blending elements of feng shui and intelligent planning, Thang Long Imperial Citadel is not only a robust military structure but also a magnificent work of artistic architecture. As you pass through the Don Mon Gate, the path leading into Thang Long Imperial Citadel will take you through ancient, imposing structures such as the Hanoi Flag Tower, the Kin Tien Palace, and the archaeological site at 18 Hong Du. The moss-covered walls and buildings stand out against the lush greenery, creating a space filled with nostalgia and tranquility. From a distance, the architecture of the citadel appears with its ancient and peaceful beauty, standing out amidst the bustling capital, reminding us of a glorious period in the country's history. Entering the Kin Tien Palace area, you will immediately sense the majesty of the main palace where emperors once ruled the nation. The stone steps worn down through centuries and the ancient red bricks beneath your feet seem to encapsulate the footsteps of past emperors. Right in front of the palace is the Don Mon with its three-tiered architecture, adorned with cloud motifs, symbolizing eternity and reverence. This scene creates a mysterious and sacred atmosphere, transporting you back in time to the heroic past of the nation. At the archaeological site at 18 Hong Du, you will admire the remnants of the ancient citadel, including foundations, artifacts, and architectural structures that have survived through the centuries. These artifacts include ceramics, everyday items of the royal family, and intricately decorated ceramic fragments, all deeply marked by ancient Vietnamese culture. The solemn and mysterious space here makes you feel as if you are listening to ancient stories echoing from the past. After exploring the citadel, step outside and let your spirit soar as you take in the panoramic view of Hanoi from the Hanoi Flag Tower, the steadfast symbol of the capital, where the tall flag tower stands proudly against the blue sky, representing national pride and the unity of the Vietnamese people. Thang Long Imperial Citadel is an essential destination for anyone visiting Hanoi. Not only is it a historical site, but it also embodies the culture and soul of Vietnam, serving as inspiration for every citizen to remember their roots and take pride in their country. And that concludes our wonderful 3-day adventure in Hanoi. We have explored all the fascinating things this city has to offer. I hope you had amazing experiences and memorable moments here. Don't forget to like and subscribe to follow our upcoming exciting journeys.